Movies! Welcome to Mirror Domain's Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. And indeed, this is a live news show for movie fans where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day, including what's going on with that Crow reboot. Nev Campbell talks, Winona Ryder does as well. Venom 3 trailer dropped yesterday. We'll talk about that as well. I just give you my quick thoughts. Iron Man open to returning to the MCU. That's good news, right? We want to hear about that. We got some sad photos of the new Kent farm. Predator Badlands. And of course, we start off today's show by talking about that new trailer that just dropped for Alien Romulus. Did you guys check it out? My full reaction is up on the channel right now. Could take some time to render, but it's there. It's up there, and I loved it. I thought it looked fantastic. It had that great sense of mood and tone that we were all looking for in the Alien franchise. Very dark and foreboding, right? Like, what the heck's going on here? What's floating? Is that acid that's floating in the air there? So if you get splashed by that, then you're going to get burnt. I haven't gone through it shot for shot. I'll leave that up to the other channels that like to do that. But it is got to be like one of my most anticipated films of the year now, Alien Romulus. It's just quietly hung around there for a lot of people. It's just like, did you hear that a new Alien movie's coming out? No. It's going to be called Romulus. What's it about? Well, a bunch of these young colonizers get attacked, or something happens here where they get a xenomorph infestation. And ooh, yeah, the facehuggers. My only gripe was that this guy has got a very thick accent. Was it? I can't remember. Is it like an Australian accent?
What do you mean this?
No, it's like a Cockney accent or something, right? So in the water. It's like, yeah. Would that really happen in the future? I don't know. Like, doesn't like no. I guess we would retain our accents. If like eventually we should all. Well, no, we should still have our accents. So maybe that's just a. I'll forgive that, but I like the way that the trailer opened up with this beating sound, and obviously this person's going to have a chest burster, because that's what we're hearing through all of it. We're in the beginning of it, right? We're just like boop, 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 and then she's got like this X-ray kind of thing that she puts over her back, and they see it inside, like that. That's cool. That's cool technology. I wish we had that. And then you see it, and then of course it's going to burst out there, and we got oh, Dark Namja says good morning all. Yeah, so that might be that person there in the poster, because we got a new poster for it as well, and I'm guessing that that's who that is, whoever this is going to be. So they're revealing. Yeah, of course, some people have to get well, impregnated, right? So yeah, that person has a bald head. Person there on the poster's got a bald head. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I like what I'm seeing here, man. And Beatty Alvarez said that this is supposed to be like a bridge between Alien and Aliens in tone. We know it takes place in between the two films, so it looks like it's like Beatty's done a great job of like paying homage to a lot of the stuff that we recognize from the franchise, and it looks like he's brought some of his own, or like his new flavors to it, like new edginess to it, with like this floating acid stuff in the end here. Kaylee Spaney, not so prominent in this trailer. We do see her, right? Like, she is around. We see the robot there a little bit more. The synthetic, yeah, there she is. But we see the synthetic robot there a little bit more. A lot of people in the comments seem to really like it. Love what they did in space. No one can hear you scream. 131, yeah. So the facehugger straight took advantage of that guy. At this point, Xenomorph might be the good guys. Yeah, well, from what I hear, Wayland Yutani will be mentioned in this, and it might be actually like a directive that they sent the aliens to this colony just to have them breed. Like, that's what sort of the impression I got from what they were implying. which is kind of gross. Why is YouTube kind of like is Chrome like? Look at the edges of this. My OBS was nicely cropped. I'm gonna have to maybe put on a new crop on my filter there for my scene in OBS because I like to have it nicely cropped in, right? But overall, guys, I dug it. And if you want to see my full reaction to it live, because it was literally, I was putting together the show notes today and it dropped. We knew that it was dropping today. I just didn't know at what time. And I was like, got to get it up, got to get it up. So, yeah, August 16th, 2024. August 16th, Kaylee Spaney, Isabella Merced. Andy is the new robot, right? David Johnson or Johnson, probably. I don't know, Johnson maybe. I dig what I'm seeing, man. I dig what I'm seeing. Alien Romulus. Did you guys check it out? Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. I like Aliens, and I like Predator. Predator Prey was awesome. And Dan Trachtenberg, the director, is coming back to make another one called Predator Badlands, starring Elle Fanning. Cool. Elle Fanning to star in new Predator movie Badlands from the helm of Dan Trachtenberg. So, what do we know for this? Is the actor is in talks? Okay, is in talks. Well, that's probably going to be confirmed pretty soon then. The Badlands is directed by Dan Trachtenberg, the filmmaker who made. Okay, come on, cut through the meat here. So it's not going to be a direct sequel to Prey, from what I understand, right? That's what people are telling me. Reteamed with Prey scribe Patrick Eisen for the Badlands story. So it's from the same creative team, story wise and directing wise. So that's good news. And I felt like, yeah, you hit a home run with Predator Prey. And I'm kind of like, that's kind of like, you did it. Leave that one and go to a different timeline like we've all been wanting to. Like go to Samurai or whatever this is going to be, right? Badlands. THA reported that Badlands was going to be the name. Yeah, back in some other time. The premise of Badlands is unknown, but sources indicate that it will be set in the past like Prey, but instead be set sometime in the future. Will not be set in the past, but will be set sometime in the future. Okay. So in the future, Badlands will be in the future. It's also unknown if, like Prey, this would go straight to streaming. It'll be kind of nice. Predator Prey would have done very well, I think, in the theater because it was very cinematic in scope. And I should have, I wish we could have done a better watch along for it when it dropped because it was kind of like it was out on Hulu and I got like I had gotten a copy that was like all kind of like not as crisp as it could be. Yeah, so it looks like Chrome's update has put round edges on stuff. I am gonna have to adjust the crop. No worries, guys. I'll fix that on my own. But I really like Prey. So if they're gonna go to the future with it, that's fine with me too. Prey Predator can go in basically any timeline, right? And I really like Prey, and I'm glad that they're not going to touch it with a straight up kind of run of the mill sequel. Oh, now it's back and she's got to defeat it again, kind of thing, right? And just a retread. I'm glad that Trachtenberg's doing something a little bit different with this. Um, so for me, Badlands, that's a good move. And with Elle Fanning, great actress, that's cool. Some people will say, well, I don't want another female lead. Did you complain about it in Prey? No, because Trachtenberg knows what he's doing. He's proven that, right? Uh, Nobody complained about that for Prey, and nobody complained about that for 10 Cloverfield Lane, which was, I thought, really awesome. Mary Elizabeth Winstead. So nobody complained about that. So I don't want to hear it, guys. I don't want to hear it. In addition, Elle Fanning joining the cast. Yes. Okay, so people are just trying to grasp at people's past works. Any comments here? Good thing only women had to deal with predators in the past, allowing men to sleep easily. So yeah, there's a little bit of that push, right? You can't be serious. I don't care if she's a good actress unless she has some help. No, oh no, planet, are you convincing me someone of her stature is taking down? Well, see, thumbs down. Were you not watching Prey? Did you that this person was not watching Prey, guys, and it has nothing to do with your weapons. It's about outsmarting it. Relax. It could be easy casting like Olivia Munn. What? Predator, Predators, Prey. You're missing Predator 2 and the Predator. Yeah. I like to see a somewhat formal origins of the series similar to Prometheus and Covenant, mainly focusing on the mating season and call it sexu. Oh no, we're not going to be calling it that. For God's sakes. So people are just having fun there. Uh, they're just being facetious. uh, sounds like a Western. Really? Badlands? It does a little bit, like because of what in Dakota, right? Badlands. Is that where South Dakota? Is that where the Badlands are? I can't remember. Or World of Warcraft. But in the future, I would like it to go to the future. I would also like it to go off Earth again. Like I thought Predators was a really good idea of having it on a different planet, but I'd be up for it. And I have complete faith in Dan Trachtenberg for the new Predator Badlands movie. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below and we will talk about it. Talking about some upcoming movies. It's just breaking movie news, guys. That's not really breaking. I don't know why people have to have the breaking news thing or whatever. Live, though. Yeah, we are doing it live. James Gunn shares sneak peek at Superman's Kent family farm. Okay, so if you're worried about spoilers for the new Superman movie that's coming out next summer, guys, uh, then this might spoil some stuff for you. But it's Kent Farm. We all know that from the lore of Superman. Oh, look, it's a farmhouse. Okay, that's not really spoilery. I just pulled this story because I am curious about this project, as many people are. If they're gonna like be able to land this and bring it home. Uh, yeah, and I'm glad that at least the shots that they've shown us here, we don't see a big, huge trailer city set up in the background where they're like having to have like all the cast and crew set up. Like I hate that. I really hate that stuff. Uh, if it were up to me, I would just have like a small production company where we're all working together. We all have like yeah maybe a few trailers, but not like the trailer city kind of thing, right? And we all bunk together. We're like whatever, not in like in the same bed, like I mean like in the same trailer and stuff. And none of this. I'm pristine. I need a whole trailer to myself. BS. James, why are you talking about that and not the Kent Farm photos? I don't know. Because we're live, I suppose. Yeah, Chrome must be getting rid of the hard edges on everything here because this is on X and they softened the edge. Chrome, it's really been upsetting me lately because it's been almost every day it's been an update, update, update. Again, why are you talking about this, James, when you should be talking about the story of the Superman? Yeah, James Gunn, Superman redefines classic heroism with a modern twist. And I just got an idea of perhaps maybe the angle that they're going for. Yeah, there's that Superman photo that was just shown. What if it's like a story about uh, this him coming to the realization that he's got to be the hero that everybody needs, right? Even though he doesn't really like. What you're just talking about Man of Steel, James? No, I mean like a little bit like the what Iron Giant was, right? He goes off a little bit off the handles, and then he's kind of like, well, I'm gonna well, sort of maybe sacrifice myself. I don't know, something like that. Like if they're doing with that kind of an angle, right? You know, you kind of get what I'm like. People think of him as a threat because he's got all these powers, but then they come to realize, or he comes to realize that it's worth it putting his body on the line and everything like that to help humans. I wouldn't put it past Gunn. Any comments here? No, no comments there. All right, Kent Farm. Not that much interesting. Let's move on to Iron Man. Yeah, this came out during a Actors on Actors interview. Robert Downey Jr. is surprisingly open minded when it comes to returning to Iron Man. Yeah, he was in Actors on Actors, you know, that thing that Variety does, talking with Jodie Foster. I saw highlights of it. I haven't watched the whole thing, but he's talking about their, you know, his works and stuff like that. And he was talking about um, how close he is to the Iron Man character and stuff, how what it means to him and stuff. And he thought that he was done with it after Endgame, and that's what we had understood. So in that Actors on Actors, he said, "quote surprisingly open-minded to returning to Tony Stark. It's just crazily in my DNA. Probably the most like me character I've ever played, even though he's way cooler than I am." Yeah, I saw this part. I've become surprisingly open-minded to the idea between Naiad and for me Oppenheimer, and then Sympathizer. It really is crazy because we look pretty good. I was actually looking at the stills, and taking we're taking, making sure do we still kind of look okay. I'm like, yeah, we look pretty good. So the only way that he could ever come back to the MCU, though, is through some kind of multiverse crossover event, which we know that Secret Wars is going to be using that kind of angle to it, right? Or no, is that like the Skrulls doing that? I don't know. Uh, but yeah, it's very easy for him to come back in some capacity and still retain the meaningful end conclusion that he had with Endgame. Like there's a way to do it, uh, for sure, right? I mean, Professor X just came back, and then we all accepted that. Nobody really complained about that, and I think that's what the MCU needs to do. Unlike Hugh Jackman Wolverine, RDJ Iron Man, it will probably isn't because the actor turned down money, but rather the studio refusing to offer it. What? I mean, he's forever going to get asked the question, so he's probably going to retort and giving conflicting answers depending on how he feels. No, I actually, if you actually go and watch the interview, because the clips that I saw where he's talking about it, he seemed pretty sincere that if it were on the table, and it's probably going to be, because the rate of the MCU is the trajectory of it's like this. And I don't think that all of them will come back. Like, I think Scarlett Johansson's done with it. But uh, Iron Man could come back, and I think Captain America could come back. Uh, because if Captain America 4, Brave New World, crashes and burns, yeah, you need to have Steve Rogers. You're not going to be able to get away with it without having Steve Rogers. And Chris Evans, I'm sorry, your projects outside of that have of the MCU has not they have not really flown, right? The man has an Oscar now, so he can go back to doing it whatever he wants. I hope he stays dead. And an evil multiverse version would be interesting, however. So even people who concede that that the multiverse version would be interesting is there, right? I mean, maybe in Secret Wars, but I'm guessing I'm getting to the point. Yeah, there's just too much money on the table not to come back. A lot of this has to do with the MCU dropping the ball with Phase 4 and 5. And people are just like, well, James, give it a chance. Wait till you see the conclusion of Phase 4. You'll understand it. Well, we got to the end of Phase 4, and it was like, I still don't know what's getting on. And people then moved on to say, well, wait till we start into Phase 5. Then you'll understand what they were doing with Phase 4. Okay? We're more than halfway through Phase 5, and it still doesn't feel like it's getting any kind of direction. Yeah, they want to drive towards Kang Dynasty, but I have no idea who the Avengers are. Who's part of the Avengers, right? So it's kind of like it's pushed. They've moved the goalposts now. The diehard fans have moved the goalposts now to the end of Phase 5 and say, well, wait until Fantastic Four, and then you'll figure out what was going on, right? Guys, what are you telling me? You're telling me that every other movie in between then is going to be worthless to see? It didn't used to be like that, right? It didn't used to be like that, and maybe Feige and the teams just they need to bite the bullet and say, yeah, we're going to pay the money to bring back. We're going to adjust the stories now to bring the older people back in and just tell good comic book stories. Eh. Anyway, I'm going on a rant there. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. So, talking about Marvel, there is a bit of a tizzy going on right now, guys. Venom 3 dropped yesterday. The trailer for Venom, the final Tom Hardy Venom movie, The Last Dance. And I thought it was received with pretty good uh, uh, fare, but then I get headlines like this: Venom 3 trailer is confusing fans and setting up a big MCU disappointment. Because, whoops, because the last we saw Tom Hardy's Venom was in the post-credit scenes for No Way Home, right? Where he was in the MCU and everybody was like, okay, is he going to be back? And then I forget what it was. He gets sent back, right? At the end, he gets pulled back into his own universe. And that's what's confusing people, I think. Because people think now that Tom Hardy's Venom is going to be part of the MCU, and he's not. And Sony made that clear, I think. I don't think they ever wanted to have those small cameo roles at the end of Spider-Man and stuff. But I like the trailer. I like Juno Temple here with Moto. Again, that's the confusing thing. We're using Chiwetel Ejiofor, who is in the MCU, so people are like, okay, so he's playing a variant of Moto or whatever? No, or I guess he's not, or is he? It's very weird, and that's what's confusing people. And I liked the trailer, but I was shocked that it's like a 3-minute trailer. And from what I understand, guys, this might be the young Peter Parker in this version of the universes. Because we know that Venom is now aware of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. So then this would have to be his parents up here, and it's the hitchhiker, I guess, they picked up. There's a dog there. So what people are saying in the comments, Eddie, I will let you eat everybody. Venom sold. Venom, The Last Dance, Deadpool and Wolverine. Emotional roller coaster, Eddie Brock's last and final ride with Venom. And it looks like, okay, from what I understand of the premise, that's not being revealed here too much, is that in this version, he's aware of Peter Parker, so he goes out to try to find him, and then all the symbiotes from his planet try to come to kill him or to get him back or something. And is that RZA fans? Is he the hitchhiker? Um, what's They try to get him back, so he tries to protect this version of Peter Parker. Is it RZA fans? Because it did kind of look like him, right?
To be a reason they're after us.
I just. Yeah, like the visual effects look okay. I'm glad that it's just not another big variant of the another symbiote. Like maybe that guy's supposed to be another symbiote that has the powers. I don't know. Like that is that Aunt May? Is that Aunt May? And that's young Peter there. I don't know. Let's go over to the IMDb, James, and just take a look at it. And I don't know why they wouldn't tell us that angle right up off the bat. And it is RZA fans. So yeah, that'll really throw people off here. And that's what's confusing people. So yeah, maybe I do agree with with the sentiment here that it's confusing fans and setting up a disappointment. But I don't think it will. Because if they are okay, so if he's aware of Peter Parker and then he tries to protect that version of him in that universe and ends up having to maybe like sacrifice himself to save that Peter Parker, I'm fine with that. And then the black goo gets on that version of Peter Parker. I'm fine with that. Although that's not how I guess Eddie Brock would normally die because he doesn't die in right. Ah, whatever. But for this version of Venom, they invent the wheel a little bit on that aspect. I think would be okay with me. I was really hoping that eventually we would get the cross up between Tom Hardy and Tom Holland, and just or even Andrew Garfield. Give us that one, the cross up, and then. But I think this is the right way to play it. Don't bring us a Spider-Man in this version of Venom the if he's never gonna see Spider-Man, right? Uh, the horse, the Venom horse. Like, yeah, that's funny. I like that. Right for the live chat says, hey. So, uh, some of the visual effects here are pretty shoddy, though. But yeah, like that's Langolier-esque. Well, it looks great. I think it's gonna have fun, that fun popcorn kind of feel to it, which is good. Like this looks like some bad rear production, but whatever. Tom Hardy's still giving it his all. I think most of us will be just looking at the horse, going, "Okay, he's not actually running here." Stuff like you guys have to concede a little bit that the visual effects here are a little bit shoddy, but it's the whole premise of it that perhaps that we'll forgive in the moment and say, "Okay, we're here to have fun." That's my thoughts on the Venom 3 trailer. A little bit of confusion from some people, but for the most part, people, I think people liked it, right? I didn't see a whole lot of people saying in the comments, "Yeah, I don't like it." Blah, 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 blah. No, Moto. Mordor is secretly a member of the TVA. Yeah, so glad to see Eddie and Venom working together. I think this will be okay. I think we're going to be in okay hands when it comes to October. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Wifer in the live chat there says, "Hey, how's it going?" Okay, so let's take a quick break here and tell you what's going to go on. I am working all of tomorrow, which means it would have to be after 7 p.m. before we could do reactions to uh, Acolyte. Acolyte drops tonight at 9 p.m. They're dropping 2 episodes, but from what I hear, the episodes are only like 30 minutes each. So we might be able to do it later tonight. And if I think that's just the way that we're gonna have to do it, um, because I don't want to wait all the way till Thursday to do our reactions to it. Uh, so sadly, yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do. Why is that crop there? That's weird. Look at my thumb down here. So I think I might do the Acolyte watch-alongs tonight. I did I put up the no, I still have the Fallout. I didn't put the Acolyte one there. But I'll put the Acolyte one there and then put up some thumbnails. Um, I'm not hearing the greatest things about the Acolyte, uh, but it's from the same kinds of sources of people who don't like things like we were talking about Elle Fanning there. People who are complaining about that. It's from channels that complain about that kind of thing, that are not liking the Acolyte. So, what did Harloff say the other day? Harloff, I think, said that it was probably like should have been just a story that wasn't called Star Wars. I don't know. I'm still gonna be watching it though, right? do one episode, and if you don't like it, the acolytes move it along to another show. Well, I do want. We're gonna watch all of it. I just because it's dropping 2 episodes, right? Acolyte drops 2 a.m. in Ireland, so I'll catch up at some point. Okay. Yeah, it's just because of my work schedule. Like if I wasn't working tomorrow, then we would do it in the tomorrow morning. It's just for this week. We got to figure out something because I just don't want that big time lapse, right? We'd have to do it tomorrow evening, perhaps, if I don't do it tonight. We'll see. Maybe at 9 o'clock. Uh, Disney's been known for jamming up and not being able to be watched. So if I tee everything up at 9 o'clock and it's not working, I'll be upset because I want to be able to watch it and be done by about 10:30 so that I can get up and go to work tomorrow morning. Yeah. So stay tuned, and if I can get access to it, if I can log into Disney Plus, then we'll watch it tonight. Okay. Where are we at? Maxine. Ty West says X is going to return to the theaters with a Maxine preview. X, we had lots of fun with X. We watch it here on the channel. Full live watch along. Ty West is returning to theaters. X is returning to theaters for one night with a special post-credit preview of Maxine. So July 5th is when Maxine comes out. So X is going to be out June 13th. June 13th. That's the 18th, James. What are you smoking? Sorry, June 18th. June 18th is when X is going to return for a one night only. So is that a Saturday or is that a Sunday? What is that? June 8th. That is a Tuesday? What? So on a Tuesday, cheap night. Cheap Tuesdays here in Canada. 2 weeks from now, you're going to be able to go see X and have a special preview for Maxine. Okay. Did you know they just tried to do that with Star Wars, for the Acolyte actually, when that re-release for Phantom Menace came out. If you had stayed to the end credits, you would have gotten a preview for the Acolyte. I don't think anybody stayed around for the end of the credits for that. Yeah, as much as I like the music, I can just put it on when I get home, right, and listen to the music there. So I figured there's no point in listening to the end. I'm looking forward to Maxine a lot because I think X and Pearl are a good little combo of horror movies, and I hope this Maxine makes it a nice little trilogy. July 5th. So I'll be gone next July for first couple of weeks. We'll have to see how that's going to impact the schedule as well. I'm going to try to pre-record just a few shorts to keep the channel at least buzzing for. That's not going to be for every day that I'm going to drop. I'm going to drop maybe like I'm going to pre-record maybe 3 or 4 shorts that'll air in between, like every second day or something when I'm away. July 3rd to the 11th, guys, I'll be gone. So we'll see. What watch order do you recommend? X and Pearl. Well, you could watch Pearl first, in all seriousness. Right? You could. Because then you're like, I think you should probably watch Pearl first. Because then when you get to X and you realize, oh, there's this old couple here that are really weird. Wait, are those the is that Pearl? And yes, it is. Okay, fine, cool, right? And then you'd be like, well, Pearl looks very much like Maxine. What's going on with that? Right? I don't know. We'll have to see. But I'm looking forward to that. All right. Moving on. Winona Ryder. Winona Ryder talks Beetlejuice 2, saying that it was a special experience returning for Lydia. And guys, I got to tell you, I'm slowly getting hyped for Beetlejuice 2. I think it's going to hit. I think it's going to be one that'll be kind of like, people won't know if it's going to be a home run, and they'll be a little apprehensive at first. And then hopefully word of mouth will be like, you got to check this out. So, Speaking with Empire, Winona said this about the sequel, quote, I struggle to find the words. It's just one of the most special experiences I've ever had. The fact that we're coming back to it, it's it's beyond, I don't know if I've ever felt this way. This is a first for me. I've never revisited a character ever. Close quote. Wait a minute. Has she never come back to a character before? Movie wise, movie wise. Well, she's come back to do Stranger Things, but has she ever come back for a sequel to something? Hmm. She's saying that it's the first. Yeah. Has she ever been in a franchise or something? Huh. Maybe I'm just drawing a blank. We'll take a look at her IMDb in just a second. Jenna Ortega was playing Astrid, her daughter. She said, I went through so many stages of who is she now, but I always wanted to have it be Lydia. She can't lose who she was. She can't be the same person. She can't be just completely deadpan. So she has to have evolved, but she also has to have kept the thing that she had when we first met her. So that's going to be a big challenge for me. And I'm looking forward to it. Let's just take a look at Winona Ryder's career here and see if there's any sequels that she might have been in. I gotta say though, she's aged fairly well. Haunted Mansion, Stranger Things. She's kept busy too, which is good. Yeah, she was had that small role in Black Swan, right? Star Trek. Okay, did she ever come back? Was there a flashback in the second Star Trek, Wrath of Khan or whatever it was called? Because she was the Spock's mother in that version, right? Yeah, so I don't see a lot of sequels. Yeah, maybe that's true. First glance here, it does appear to be so. Good career though. Good to see. Good to see that she's busy, and good to see that she embraced the experience of it. Right. That's the way Michael Keaton's face looks here. You know he's gonna have a blast in this movie. Wow. Nev Campbell. Let's talk about her. Nev Campbell shares. What the heck? Nev Campbell shares her gratitude for the manner in which she was approached for her return to the Scream franchise. It's all about respect for Nev Campbell. Good. She deserves it after she was kind of like done dirty, money wise, for Scream 6. So let's see what she's got here. Nev Campbell spoke recently to People. Quote, those movies have been such a big part of my life and it means so much to me. And it was a sad to miss the last one. And I was sad to miss the last one to not be part of it. I was really grateful that they came back to me in a respectful way. I think that means a lot to women and to society. I'm grateful to be able to step into Sydney's shoes again and tell her story. Well, that was just like I don't think originally the plan was to ever go back to Sydney's character because it was going to always just it was always meant to be handed off to Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega. And then the studios had their beefs with Melissa Barrera, which kind of undid that storyline. And if that storyline's done, then you don't really need Jenna Ortega anymore, right? But we don't need to go down that rabbit hole again. She mentions that Sidney Prescott inspired a lot of people. Yes, she did. She then explains, quote, I meet a lot of fans who say her strength has helped them to get through tough times, and it means more than I could ever have managed to have ever imagined to some people. Why I just hope she doesn't come back for her to get killed off. That was always my biggest fear. Like, why can't just one time have a happily ever after? And for the most part, I was satisfied with letting that story rest. So I hope they don't. They'll put her in peril. but I just hope they don't kill her. Every day I hope to come on here and see an article announcing Kevin will also be taking over the writing duty of this new installment. Now, from so far, he isn't writing it. This is a win for Nev Campbell. Yes. Scream 3 is probably the best one. If I rank them 3, 4, 1, 5, 2, 6. Looking forward to Scream 7, somebody says. Well, I wouldn't go with those rankings. For me, it's still 1, then 2. Then I still like 3 because for the longest times that's all we had. 4 was like a nice little, oh yeah, it's cool to come back to this. My order is probably much the order that they all came out, guys. Nothing special there. Really, James? You like Scream 3 that much? Yes, I do. Parker Posey. They had nothing else but to return to after everyone left. Well, yeah, we know about that. We'll have to wait and see. Scream 7 coming around the corner next year, guys. I don't know what the heck is going on with this crop. It's like background banner. That shouldn't do anything. PowerPoint shouldn't do anything. It's really weird. Like OBS, maybe it's like see it like the opacity there on the bottom. It's really I don't get it. Let me just go to the filters here. Opacity is at full. Opacity is at full. See what happens when I do this? Oh. There's some kind of a distortion happening because where I'm pressing on the wall there's no light. Anyway, you guys don't care about that. Let's continue on with the Crow reboot. Just some weird anomalies. The Crow / the Naked Gun star Danny Houston. You can't try to reinvent the classics. Why did you get involved with The Crow? Money, James. That's why. Oh, okay. Danny Houston is going to be in The Crow. A good actor, right? You recognize his face for sure. So let's just go and see if there's any more context to this. Danny Houston told comicbook.com about making a reboot. Quote, what I find challenging is, in a way, the idea of remaking something that's already good. It's like you kind of don't want to touch it. And for the most part, a lot of people wish that people wouldn't touch it. You want to leave it alone. Agreed. I remember my father saying, why are we remaking good movies? We should be remaking bad ones and then make them good. Yeah. Ones that like have a swing and a miss or just maybe be lacked in visual effects like Flash Gordon. Like Flash Gordon. That could work. Flash. Yeah. Danny Houston continued. So that's where we're cautious, and yet you have to have you have to kind of reinvent it. You can't imitate it, but you're inspired by it, and that's a tough balance to get. Let's see what some of the comments say, because oof, somebody's really verbose here. Then don't tell me that you can't make a funny detective movie starring Liam Neeson that is in vein of Naked Gun, and yet if it is its own thing, yeah, then just make it something else and call it something else, right? It doesn't have to be called Naked Gun. And if you got a good story, it doesn't have to be called Star Wars. It could be called something else. Making it Star Wars or making it the Naked Gun could mar the outcome of what you want, which is what you want people to enjoy your product. Anyway, this guy goes on to have a rather lengthy response, so we just don't have the time to read that there. Yeah, but he acknowledges it within himself that, well, why are we remaking something that's already awesome? And that's what a lot of people question. Uh, because the director said it himself. He was trying to inject a lot of his own stuff into it, and it's like that's what you should be doing. But you should also be paying. You should also be respecting the source material, not some uh, football style of characters that you see over in the UK, because that's what he said he wanted them to look like. Because he was a fan of like I can't remember if it was Man U or something like that, and that's he wanted him to look like a footballer fan. And does that scream goth to you at all? Not really. No. And I think that's where a lot of people are going to reject it. Crow is not on a. And I like Bill Skarsgård. I'll give Skarsgård the benefit of the doubt. And I said it the other day too. Bill Skarsgård in his performance is not going to be the weakest part of this film. It's going to be the execution of the story. In the original, Eric looks like he's playing guitar for Nine Inch Nails. In the reboot, Eric looks like he raps for on SouthCloud, on SoundCloud. The only thing this trailer accomplished was making me want to watch the original. This ain't the Crow. This is Little Birdie. Yeah, whatever the heck that is. Uh, I think this is going to crash and burn. It's going to crash and burn badly, and it sucks. It sucks because it tarnishes future attempts to bring justice to it. Yeah, this look like there's nothing about this that looks like what Eric Draven should be, a guitar like a musician, right? Well, he does, but not like the musician that is from the source materials. Anyway, yeah, that one's kind of disappointing. All right, what do we got? We're 49 minutes. Let's move on to some hit or miss. Blinker Twice poster puts a Polaroid camera in the hands of creepy Channing Tatum. This is a movie that's also on my most anticipated. Blink Twice, Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut, where Tatum plays like this creepy, eccentric billionaire, owns an island, invites people there to experiment on them or something, or do something weird with them. Trailer for it looked good. August 23rd. That's kind of a hit. Next. Metal Gear Solid creator wants Furiosa star as live action Solid Snake. Yeah, I don't know what the heck's going on with the Metal Gear movie, man. Like at one point, Oscar Isaac was attached to play it. So now they want Tom Burke to play it. Okay, I'd be on board with that. Uh, it's just this is a project that's been in development hell for the better part of a decade. It feels like. Hideo Kojima wants Furiosa star Tom Burke as Solid Snake in the Metal Gear movie. Oscar Isaac is set to lead the Metal Gear movie, with director Jordan Voight Roberts aiming for a groundbreaking adaptation. Hey, sometimes if there's a better actor that comes along that fits the part, I would prefer that. And I'm never somebody who just says, well, just let their vision come through first. There's a point where the character sort of has to resemble what we all think that he looks like as fans, right? I don't know. Tom Burke, I think, could pull it off. Yeah, Byfer says in the live chat, he's a good actor. He truly is. But so is Oscar Isaac. I don't know when or how this movie's ever going to come out. Oscar Isaac said back in 2022, we want it to happen. Yeah, I remember reporting on that. So yeah, it's been development hell, and I don't expect it. Like I haven't heard any traction on it. I haven't heard if there's a script. So it's kind of like, and again, I don't know why it's a tough nut to crack. It shouldn't be. Next, Bill and Ted trilogy to be released in a most excellent 4K version. 4K version. Now, this is a problem here, guys, that I'm just becoming familiar with now over the last month or so because of that Star Wars re-release, and it's 4K. Uh, if you don't have a good quality uh, base like um, frame from the original, of the original print of the way the film was shot on, and a lot of the films back then had grain to it, guys, and a lot of the 4K conversion technology takes out the grain and makes people look cartoony, like you see here. It makes them pastelly because the computer's trying to like fix it. And I would rather 4K re-releases uh, get uh, get a print and just make it work. Somebody just did a good piece on this. If you can, Narrow, I think it is, uh, did a big thing on this, where he compared the 4K versions of True Lies and Aliens, and see how it kind of like muddles areas of the face and stuff, and then it sharpens lines in people's faces. This is something that's happening where it turns people into cartoonish looking things, uh, and it actually doesn't do a good job of uh, translating some of the visual effects and makes some of the matte work actually look much worse than it actually was. And that's something that I'm apprehensive. See how the one here on the left has all this grain in it? So the AI goes in and tries to reconstruct it, but makes it also look cartoony because that's not what the camera caught. Because it is filling it in. So with the 4K editions, I'm apprehensive. And then this guy also goes into explaining like color ranges and stuff like that. So if you haven't watched it, Narrow, AI Can Ruin Movies Now Too, Aliens and True Lies 4K. I watched this the other day, and it's a great watch if you want to try to learn and understand about some of the 4K adaptations and why they look weird, why faces look weird. That horrible thing. Yeah, he does a very good setup and explanation of all of this. So I would recommend go over and check out that video
Customer
because
to
his
decide
points
whether or not that matters.
are well taken, and I believe it. I don't think AI should be used in this manner because it. I did notice it on the Phantom Menace re-release that they just put out, where it was upgraded, because the original Phantom Menace and actually the prequel trilogy is going to suffer because it wasn't shot on traditional film on 70 millimeter or anything like that. Oh no, my camera just went out again. Oh, because it's not that hot outside. Because the traditional film uh, can be adapted to 4K very easily because of the quality of it. But the prequel trilogy was shot on digital. So I think the best they had was a 1080 resolution. So when you try to upgrade that, then you get pasty kind of stuff because there's not the original quality was never ever going to be 4K. So yeah, see, look. This is what you get. See how cartoony they look? That's what you're getting in like the Terminator and Terminator 4Ks, and that's what I'm worried about when it comes to stuff like Bill and Ted. Right, most excellent. Now some people won't care about it, but I would prefer just okay. It's not really 4K, but you've cleaned it up, and we can still see all the grain and stuff, and you've kept the original integrity of of the films that we saw. That's what I would prefer. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean for that to turn into a big long rant, but it did. One final story. Well, when is that Bill and Ted coming out, James? Sorry, my bad. 4K disc one, Bogus Journey, Face the Music. I had fun with Face the Music. It just wasn't as memorable as the other ones. It's going to have a lot of content on it, apparently. $85.99. $85.99 for the trilogy remasters. Doesn't say of a release date in here. August 8th. Sorry, my bad. August 8th is when you can get that. American Gladiator is being rebooted. Cool. I grew up with this show, so I had fun watching it. It was silly. It was ridiculous. Uh, if they could do like a hybrid version of like Sasuke or a American Ninja Warrior, but with American Gladiators, I'd be up for that. I hear Gina Carano is free. She should come back as Crush. Oh yeah, she was on that show, right, guys? I like Gina Carano. I don't care what people say, and I know I couldn't hang around with her because she hangs around with a bunch of those flapheads that are just conspiracy, conspiracy, conspiracy. Ugh, sucks because I really like Gina Carano. All right, is that all I got in the can? Yeah, it is. All right, so yeah, sorry guys. It's been a weird couple of days. Yesterday I was kind of not feeling 100%. That's why I didn't do a full reaction for Venom Part 3. My throat is still a little bit hoarse. Uh, and then all of today I had to wait for people coming into the apartment that were going to be adjusting something with the water lines. So it's like, well, I don't want to start the show and then have to stop halfway through. So they came in at 11:30, and then I had to wait for that to get finished. So I had to wait. It's been a weird couple of days, and then tomorrow I'm working all day. We can talk about Thursday though. Thursday, there will be normal movie news show in the morning, probably like around 11 a.m. But then in the evening, because this weekend, Bad Boys for Life is coming out. Or sorry, Bad Boys Ride or Die, and that new movie, The Watchers. Unfortunately, Bad Boys Ride or Die, 155. So it'll be done by 6 o'clock. I could go see it, but I gotta be somewhere by like 6:30, 6:40 ish. I'd be pushing it. I'd really be pushing it tight there. The movie would have to be done. I would have to get out, do my quick out of the theater reaction, because that's what if it's 155 plus trailers. I'd be really pushing it, guys. I'd be like, I'd probably end up being late. So what's probably going to happen is I'm going to go see Watchers at 3:40 because that's a little bit early. That's half an hour earlier, and it's not as long. That's the Dakota Fanning one where there's like uh, takes place in a weird kind of Irish town or something like that, or a cabin out in the woods kind of thing. I'm looking forward to that one. So what's probably going to happen is I'll see Watchers on Thursday night, do a quick out of the theater reaction for that, and then Friday afternoon I'll go watch Bad Boys. It's just about prioritizing things. I'm sorry about the schedule. The only thing that may change that is if I go out to the landmark. Let's just check my schedule for that. 4 o'clock there. So it's still 4 o'clock. It still wouldn't be. I'd still be pushing my luck. Wish, even if they had one tomorrow night. No, they don't. Mr. and Mrs. Mahi. Is that like the Hindi version of Mr. and Mrs. Smith? To share a common passion for cricket. Huh. Okay. Well, huh. Fascinating. All right. Is that it, James? Unless something else dropped. Let's go over to the Twitterverse and round things out. I feel bad because watching the Mets constantly lose. Bifer says, yeah. Arglass says, UK Gladiators got rebooted and was well received. American Gladiators will be bigger and better. Okay, cool. Maybe. What's going on here? Gen V. Thomas Hayden Church has been cast in Knives Out 3. Cool. Doesn't hurt always to add talent. Twisters. Lee Isaac Chung says production for the movie actually took place during tornado season in Oklahoma. It was tough. The unpredictability of the weather caused a lot of issues and delays. It was my choice to do it during tornado season. Why? Because you wanted to actually film real footage. The real footage is scary, man. Daisy Edgar Jones, like let's pull up some uh, 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 like our our eyes can tell like that, right? And that looks nothing like what we see in the trailers for Twisters, because it looks cartoony, like a cartoonish CGI tornado. And maybe they do that on purpose, because it's like it's missing the debris, and like sometimes you can't see exactly the full diameter of it because it's wind, and if it hasn't picked up debris, then you know, that's scary, man. Um, but I still got my hopes up for Twisters. I think Twisters is going to be just fine. Alien Romulus is in theaters August 16th. Yeah, that would be in my rear view mirror for sure. Yeah. Archie Renault's Romulus. Is he the guy that has the weird accent? Kaylee Spaney. Yeah, did we see this shot? Did we see this shot? Was that towards the end? Why is it not going to kill her? Is it because she's impregnated? Final trailer for Inside Out 2 has been released. Emily in Paris video game. What? Is that necessary? Your trailer. Evangeline Lilly announces that she's stepping away from acting. Oh, bummer. Oh, she's doing a lot of kids' books and stuff. Good actress. A little bit nutty, but that's fine. You watch some of her interviews and stuff, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Anora, Mikey Madison will be released in theaters October 18th. The male's regional British accent doesn't work in Alien Romulus, says Hourglass. Yeah. Why is Blade trending? Should I be I have to censor X now, guys, because if you don't know, it now promotes adult content, porn. So I have to be careful, actually, that they could be showing salacious stuff. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything here that has to do with MCU Blade. Okay, so take me back. Matt Smith, House of the Dragon Season 2 premiere. Looking forward to that. We will be watching that one, guys, which means I have to sign back up for uh, Crave. Emma Darcy, Tom Glynn. Looking forward to it. Maxine X returns in theaters June 18th. Yeah, we talked about that. Adam McKay, Phoebe Devener. 20 years ago, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban was released. Really. Happy birthday to Angelina Jolie. Was it her birthday the other day? I watched Colin Farrell's Sugar, a noir detective series. It was a really good with some jaw-dropping twists. Oh, cool. Yeah, I remember the trailers for it. It looked good. Sarah Snook. Challengers. Glenn Powell, Adria Arjona for Hitman, right? I still haven't. Hitman hasn't been added to the list for the Canadian versions of Netflix yet for that release. Star Wars Acolytes. Yeah. So should I save this as my thumbnail tonight? Maybe I will. That'll be the. There's my thumbnail. New poster for Alien Romulus. Yeah, that's where we were yesterday. All right, guys, that's it for me today. I probably will try to be on around 9 o'clock for Acolyte for reasons we already discussed. And if anything else big drops, I'll try to get to it tomorrow. Depending on, I'm working all day tomorrow. It's a long day. All right. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time right here on Mirror Domains.